everybody, my name is Nicole Sheenan. I'm a pediatric endocrinologist or diabetes doctor, and I generally work at Camp Correlates in Cincinnati, Ohio every summer, which is a camp for kids with diabetes. I also have type 1 diabetes myself and was diagnosed at age 10. Today, I'm here to talk to you about time in range. This might be something you've heard about from your doctor recently, and it talks about what your goal blood sugar ranges are for your blood sugars over the course of the day and weeks. Generally, it's good to work with your diabetes doctor to figure out what your target blood sugars are and how often you should be in that range. I have my own diabetes doctor, and we've discussed that we want blood sugars between 70 and 180 about 70% of the time, because nobody's perfect with their diabetes. We all have some lows and we all have some highs. But generally, if you can keep in that range about 70% of the time, which is like a C average, then you're going to have an A1C in the 6.5 to 7% range, which is what we like to target for me personally. Today, I'm actually going to show you my most recent diabetes download. In order to upload data to my pump, I first open my uploader software. Then, I connect my insulin pump to my computer. Most pumps come with some sort of way to communicate and connect your pump with your computer. In this way, I can then hit start upload, and it will upload data from my pump to my computer so I can review. You can see now on the computer that my data is uploading, and then once it is complete, I will be able to view the data that I would like. And again, you can do this with any pump device. Also, your continuous glucose monitor or your meter can be uploaded to a computer. If you have a pump where your CGM is connected to the pump, typically you can see all the data through the pump instead of having to download the two separately. So it's continuing to upload. Here we go, we're ready to go. Upload successful. And so then I hit view reports, and it's going to bring me to a login screen. So I enter my username and password, and voila, we have data. Now here's the screen where you get to put in what your custom settings are. I find it useful to look at 2 weeks worth of data. And here you can see highest and lowest blood sugar, as well as time in range over the last 2 weeks from the CGM, as well as the blood sugars entered in the pump. Typically, you have much more data on your CGM than you do the pump, and so the CGM gives you a better sense of time in range. So you can see here, I am in range, in my target range, about 72% of the time, with 1% low and about 20% highs. And then below you can see my insulin breakdown, how much basal, how much food, and how much I'm getting for corrections. And here is my data. You can see all of my CGM data here, highest and lowest and average blood sugar readings, and the percentage of time I am in range, which is around 76% of the time. I can then go look at the blood sugar data, which comes from the blood sugars entered. You can also see lots of different reports. And this is true in any pump or meter device. There are many different reports that can be generated. Generally, I find it helpful to look at about 2 weeks worth of data at a time. When I hit this save and print button up top, it brings me to this screen, which allows me to pick what type of reports I would like printed out and saved. Now, every family and diabetes doctor tends to like different reports, but you can talk to your doctor and see which reports they like. Generally, the dashboard is helpful. The CGM trends are helpful, as well as the logbook. And your doctor always needs to know what your device settings are. So you can select all of these or some of these. And for the last 2 weeks, and then you can save this report as a PDF or print it off and send it over to your physician. Now that I've shown you how to download a pump and the tips and tricks and all the different reports that you can send to your physician, and again, talk to your diabetes doctor about how they like to receive those reports. Sometimes you can send it through email, sometimes they want you to bring it to clinic, sometimes the clinics will actually have a special password or username that you use so that when you download at home, it directly links to the clinic. Either way, it's important to download your data so you can make adjustments, because for you kids, as you grow up and get older and even adolescents, you often need dose changes to make sure that we're keeping blood sugars where they need to be so you feel good. Even if you don't have a pump or a CGM, there's lots of ways to track your data. Some people use logbooks. The old paper and pencil works just fine. Some people like to use their phones. There's lots of apps now that you can use to track your blood sugar data, what you're eating, how much insulin you're giving. And then also some people like to use Excel spreadsheets if there's a little science or engineering in your background. And those can help you track how your blood sugars are doing over time and with different meals. It's just very important to look at your data. Because again, when you look just moment to moment, things may look like they're going okay, but then if you look over 3 days or 2 weeks, you get a better sense of, am I really meeting my targets? And again, meeting your targets is important so you feel good and you can participate in activities and do well in school, and all the things that are important to you.
Hey, my name is Nader Kassim. I'm one of the peds endos at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I go to Camp Medaicha. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 18 years. Let's head to the backyard. Hi, my name is Nader Kassim. I'm one of the pediatric endocrinologists in Grand Rapids. I actually have type 1 diabetes and have a doctor's appointment coming up. But also, I'm a donkey. Donkey. All right, so I'm a diabetic donkey. So I wanted to talk to you guys about how we're gonna download all our stuff, all our technology before I go to the doctor's office. So there are 3 devices that basically people have, maybe 4. So the first device is going to be a insulin pump or a smart pen. Insulin pump. Second device is a continuous glucose monitor. That's a device that checks your blood sugar like all the time. You can also have a third device, which is a glucometer. It's kind of like the standard poke your finger test. So, believe it or not, it's actually really easy to download stuff. So in order to download stuff, you need one simple tool, and that is a USB cable. Yeah, you know the thing that uses that you use for your phone, like your phone charger? It's that, see? So this phone charger plugs into your device. See? Plug it in, boom, and then you plug it into your fancy pants computer. So it's actually not that easy, because in order for you to download it, you actually need to download software. So depending on what your device is, you're gonna actually have to download the software that goes with that device. So for example, my insulin pump has its own software, my glucometer has its own software, and my continuous glucose monitor has its own software. So if you want to download every single one, you might have to download every single software to download each device. There are some platforms, you may have heard of them, things like Gluco and Tidepool and My Sugar. that allow you to download a whole bunch of devices into one platform, and you only need to download one type of software. Your doctor's office may use that. So you just have to talk to them and see what you actually need to download in order to get numbers to them. Next, I want to download my insulin pump. As you can see, I have my insulin pump right over here connected to my USB cable, which is then connected to my laptop. So I'm gonna have you guys come join me up close, and I'll show you how I download. Most insulin pumps have their own software, and you have to actually go to the website and download it. So mine's already installed, and as you can see, it's on my desktop. Sometimes you have to go to a menu to actually access it. See right over there. All right, so I'm gonna double click on that. So remember, my pump is connected. All right, as you can see, the software detected my insulin pump, and all I have to do is hit upload. All right, so now we're waiting, and it's uploading. Hee-haw! Oh, excuse me. Oh, it's done. All right, so now the pump is uploaded, and we are going to do the next step. So some doctors should be able to access your data actually right now. So you may not even need to necessarily look at your data, but one pro tip that I have for you guys is look at your data. Number one, it'll make you look really awesome in front of your endocrinologist. And number two, it'll help you understand what to talk about, because you'll be able to look at exactly what they look at, and you can actually identify problems before you go to the doctor's office. So in order to do that, you are going to log in to your account. So I went ahead and did that already, and you can see, you can find all of my data. So a lot of insulin pump softwares integrate with a continuous glucose monitor as well. So you can actually see what your insulin pump is doing, and you can actually see what the continuous glucose monitor is doing. So this is over the last day. So you can tell I kind of went crazy last night, right over here. And I had some high blood sugar, so this is my continuous glucose monitor. And then at the bottom, you can actually see the insulin that my pump gave. These tiny little bars are the basal rates. And then, so you can find a whole bunch of information. You can figure out how much insulin you're using in a day. You can actually figure out, what your trends are by clicking on, the trends button. You can also generate a report by clicking a button that typically says save and print. It's usually in the corner somewhere. So mine's in the upper right hand corner. And then that way you can actually print off a report and bring it with you to the doctor's office and talk about what problems you're identifying. So some doctors don't need you to print off anything, but some doctors may want you to print off a report, and some doctors may actually want you to email a report. So talk to your endocrinologist and figure out what actually is best. But if you click this button and hit print reports, you'll see that you can actually get a PDF of your pump data. So that's pretty much it. So my pump's downloaded. I'm gonna go sit down on my couch, my donkey couch, and go through my pump data and figure out what problems I'm having. Alrighty, Diabetic Donkey out.